Good evening. I'd like to welcome everybody to the July 13th, 2017 regular meeting of the Guymon City Council. This time I'd like to invite Larry Watson of the First Christian Church to come up and give our invocation. Would you like to come up to the podium, Larry?
Give us wisdom, help us to thank you for your love and your goodness and your mercy and your Son Jesus. And we just ask your presence. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
Amen.
Would you join me in the pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Call this meeting to order. Agenda item number 2 is attendance roll call.
Peterson,
Here.
Swager,
Here.
Alvidrez,
Here.
Crone,
Here.
Livengood,
Here.
Hawkins, Mr. Mitchell,
Here.
Mr. Petty,
Here.
Agenda item number 3 is approval of the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion that we approve the consent agenda. I'll second it.
Have a motion and a second.
Alvidrez,
Aye.
Livengood,
Aye.
Swager,
Aye.
Crone,
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We have 5 ayes.
Agenda item number 4 is public comments and announcements. Public comments and announcements.
My name is Ted Riley. I'm a representative of Steckline Communications, the owner of KGYN Radio. I wanted to introduce the council and the public through PTCI to our new morning show host, Rick Brady. He's going to be probably talking to some of you guys on our programs that we have that are for public affairs, and I just wanted to let you guys know Rick is in town now, and he's going to be doing our morning show for us, and he's probably also going to do some sports and stuff as well. So, Rick, this is the city council we've talked about quite a bit, and you get to follow them now. And it's just
Pleasure to
wonderful.
meet you guys, and I'm finding Guymon to be awesome. A lot different from Atlanta, I'll tell you that. But I'm finding it very pleasant, so hope to be here for a long time.
Welcome to Guymon. Are there any other public comments and announcements? Any other public comments and announcements? Agenda item number 5 is presentation of monthly activities and a financial report by Artist Incubation. Ms. Strong.
Ladies and gentlemen, they have me again tonight. Okay. You have the reports that we filed with Lavona, I guess, so I'm going to talk about other things. So if you have questions on those, our financials, okay. So I'll tell you what's going on. The last time we were here, we talked about a licensed kitchen project we were working on and a Made in Guymon product that could arrive. It may be a few more months, but that's moving forward. We've gotten help from a new degree. We've got a culinary artist, a chef, an actual culinary chef that's moved to Guymon. He's wanting to put in a business, and he's trying to help us down there with this. It's pretty cool, too. On our summer art camp, I'm not sure about this. I think we're almost double our summer camp from last summer to this summer. Have you noticed, or any of you sent any of your kids to our summer art camps? I think our numbers are right at double. It's pretty cool. So, I mean, that's like 60 kids that have come in for art camp this summer. I thought maybe you had some grandkids. You didn't?
I'm sure they're in line.
I thought somebody here had some kids that came in for the camps. They've done really well this year, the summer art camps. We had Yvonne Sangster to teach that. We had Josh Hogue. So you had painting and you had clay. So you had your 2 and your 3D projects like that going over very well. Our dinner on the lake this year is September 16th. This is our outdoor that we're putting out. You'll notice the City Guns logo is on there. We appreciate your support for that. So that's coming right up. Our dinner on the lake, the theme this year is an authentic Hawaiian luau theme. We have hired the fire dancers. There's an authentic culture. Polynesian Fia Fia is the name of this group. They're out of Aurora, Colorado, and some out of Colorado Springs. But you'll be hearing a lot about it because this is the current chief of Polynesia or something. I don't know. We're bringing in some authenticity. We're talking the pig in the ground and those kinds of things. And we did get with somebody at the city to reserve the park for that afternoon so we could set up our boats out there. And as usual, we give the City of Guymon 2 comp tickets, and I hope you'll have a drawing or a contest or something. But I really hope you'll all try to come out there. And Guymon really looks nice that evening. You've been out there probably after dark and have seen what it looks like at dinner on the lake. It's pretty cool. So that's coming up very soon. One of the things that we're doing now with events, folks, is we're trying to always make sure there is some sales tax collected. So we're putting in a piece of artwork with our tickets nowadays to things. So there is sales tax collected on that. Let's see. The light project. We've been talking about our lighting project. It's about a $10,000 project. We've needed lights forever. We have finally made a decision on the type of lights. We have a contractor hired. Maybe by the end of July we'll have new lighting in there. It'll be a big deal. Our board did travel to Baker Arts Center, and we're going to have something similar to what they have if you've been in there lately. But it'll really make a big difference for the gallery. And that'll also include moving forward on our licensed kitchen project because we have to upgrade our lights down there. And then lastly, I would just tell you that we booked yesterday our carriages for the Christmas open house. He books those every year in July. He shores those dates up. So I don't know if you know Clint Parker of Bricktown Carriage Company. You know him. He grew up in Guymon. I don't know if you guys knew that. So, and all of you have been at Bricktown at some point. Those beautiful kids, the fellow that runs that is from Guymon. I don't know if you know him. And then his father still lives in Beaver, so they book us piggybacking on the night when they go to Beaver the night before. So we're December the 8th, which is a Friday evening. And that kind of opens it up for the whole town. Last year, we did a call around town at 9 o'clock that evening just to get a blind number of retail sales that were made that evening, and it was 18,000. And that we didn't get them all called. Those were just the merchants who told us what their sales were for that night. So that's pretty good for after 6 and 7 at night in Guymon. So we think that's probably a good project. There's a lot of issues about it, but we try to work together with the merchants. Back up on the dinner on the lake, Josh has been working with me to make sure that we work with your Guymon Arts and is it the Arts and Humanities? They want to work with us on their second Saturday and somehow group with us and work together and make it a bigger project for dinner on the lake. So we're trying to work with those folks. And that is really what we're up to. Is that okay? We all appreciate your support. I tried to get Brent Childers to come and do this report tonight. He said, no, you got this. But anyways, we really appreciate the City of Guymon's support. Please stop in. We're open Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 6. Those are our hours. Tuesday through Saturday, 10 to 6. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Agenda item number 6 is presentation of monthly activities and financial report by Main Street Guymon. Ms. Johnson.
Evening. So you have my report, and I'm just going to hit a couple of things that might matter to y'all. The On the Bricks TV program was Jada Breeden, and she was talking about the Pioneer Day Rodeo and how it went, and talked about some of the financials on it and stuff. The cash mob went to Harana Med Spa, but we did a double on this. We also had the Guymon Lions Club. They sell sheets as a fundraiser, and so we had those in the office, and people came in and from the cash mob and bought those also. Lunch mob went to Vallarta. We only had 5 this during June. Then the community cleanup in June. I did the wrap-up report to Keep Oklahoma Beautiful, and instead of someone from the city doing a report and me doing a report, since it's all on the same day, we do it together. So I do the report, and it was 49.45 tons that went to the landfill on April 22nd, and that was only one day of the community cleanup. So she was very pleased with everybody's work, and there were a lot of people involved in it. One of the important Well, we had 265 hours in June, 85 volunteers that worked. More than half of those volunteers were, oh, no, I'm saying that wrong. No, more than half of those volunteers, I have the total wrong, were 45 students from Upward Bound at OPSU. And they came in, 2 days they worked on community service for at least an hour and a half. Rain took us out. So it was at least a 3-hour period. They hit Thompson Park. PD had them doing painting and cleaning up at Thompson Park. They painted the graffiti at Fowler Park. And then they also went to Dunaway Manor, and they also worked with several Main Street businesses. So those kids really did an awesome job. They did very well. And I did yesterday, we had our state accreditation. It's kind of like a program audit yesterday at Main Street. So we're nationally accredited again. Any questions? City. When it's city property, it's the city. If it's a Main Street person, they provide. So it's whomever you're doing the work for, and we work with them before. Well, it happens.
Maybe next year we can apply. I think
Fresh paint.
there's a paint program to get painted, donated by a couple of different entities. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 7 is discussion and possible action on approval of ordinance number 820, an ordinance amending section 7-403 of the Guymon Code of Ordinances to increase the hotel motel sales tax from 3% to 8% upon the gross proceeds or gross receipts derived from rents received from occupancy by hotel rooms, requiring approval of the ordinance by a majority of the registered voters voting at an election held for such purpose as provided by law, fixing effective dates and providing for severability. So, Mr. Sally, who wants to go first?
Sally, you want to go first? You want me to go first?
You started.
I'll start.
follow up, yeah.
You finish, okay.
That's right.
All right, for the last 6 to 9 to 12 months, there's been a lot of discussion in the community about looking at increasing the hotel motel tax. One of the reasons for that discussion has been the proposed casino that may be coming to Guymon in the near distant future. No one really knows about that, but Sally and I did a little survey, and we had that survey in your packet showing rates from around this region, and you can see that Guymon is the lowest of any of the communities that we surveyed. Some of them as high as 15–18%. And we think it's a very timely discussion to have. And this ordinance would be the first of a two-step process. The council approves the ordinance, then we would come back at a future date with a resolution where the council would determine the election date for the ballot question, which goes to a general election. We had talked a lot about October as being a possible date. Should the council decide to go forward, then we would have to pass the resolution at our next council meeting. Otherwise, we'd miss the October date and have to look at sometime next spring, maybe March, February or March of 2018 for the ballot question.
The reason I have spent a lot of time on the lodging tax is because whether the casino comes into town or not, I think there's a real opportunity for Guymon to better serve our community, to better serve the surrounding community. And a way to do this, to create some infrastructural improvements for our community, is to increase the lodging tax, not because it's the lowest in the area, but because there's a need for the revenue and a way for us to make Guymon better through it. I mean, some proposed projects might be the soccer field that we've heard lots of talk about over the last couple of years. I know I have some friends who would love to see a splash pad or an amphitheater. So I think there's a lot of opportunity for our community, both for citizens and for the surrounding community, to benefit from projects that could result from this additional revenue.
Yeah, the other observation I would make here is that it does provide that extra revenue where cities have a very difficult time finding that money due to the limitations we have on how we fund municipal government. We are pretty much dependent on sales tax and utility rates, so it's very difficult to generate additional money to do these extra projects that Sally's talking about.
And if I might add just one thing, if you gentlemen pass the ordinance and it goes to vote, and it would ultimately be the decision of the council as to how those funds were allocated.
My understanding is if we pass the ordinance for the increase, then we could do resolutions later, and that way we don't tie council 20 years from now to something that maybe doesn't really fit to them. Any other discussion? Questions?
Well, the other point is that we're not recommending any changes in the language. The language would remain the same, so the ordinance merely amends the rate. So we're not making any other adjustments or amendments to the existing ordinance.
More discussion? Motion?
I would just say that oftentimes we do say, if we do this, we can do this later. I would say if we pass this and ask for an increase, we need to get busy and set a resolution as to how these funds can be spent. I made the comment in a meeting this morning that if we pass this just because we're the lowest in town, it should qualify us to move on up to state or federal government, just to pass a tax for no reason. So let's don't do that. Let's put those funds to good use and let's lock it in so that we can do it if we decide to pass the tax. Or to propose, to try to pass it.
Let me speak to that. If the uses are to be changed, that'll have to be in the ordinance. That would have to be part of the voted ordinance. So this ordinance would not do that. You can't later, by resolution, change what the existing ordinance provides. So if you wanted to change the uses that the money could be put to, that would have to be part of this ordinance, and it would have to be voted on by the people. Right now, the way the existing ordinance is, this council or any future council has the right to use 100% of that tax for any one of those listed purposes. Has total discretion. It might be recreation, it might be industrial, it might be educational, it might be commercial, it might be convention development. But each council would have the authority, if they wanted to, as the years went by, to direct 100% of that money to those uses. So if the uses are to be changed, that would have to be a vote of the people, because when this ordinance was enacted, the uses were specified in the ballot. So,
I think there needs to be a clarification there. The uses that are listed in the ordinance are very broad and very general, and they give the council a lot of latitude on how those monies can be used. So currently, the use of the funds can be to encourage, foster, promote, solicit the community, conferences, conventions, recreation, commercial, industrial, educational, economic events, and so forth. So I think there is a distinction about if you, let's say for example, that you wanted to add use of funds to fund an economic development authority. I think then you would have to change the ordinance. But if you're talking about how you allocate the dollars that you're receiving, you have broad latitude in how you can allocate those dollars.
Yeah, presently, the funds could be used for economic development. Presently, the funds could be used for industrial development. Presently, the funds could be used for recreation. Presently, the funds could be used for convention development. All of that's in there and that language was initially developed so that each council would have discretion to meet whatever the needs were at the time and to meet changing circumstance, so.
But if you wanted to earmark it for a particular special purpose, I think you would have to change the ordinance.
Yeah, if you wanted to earmark funds, then there would have to be that would have to be part of this ordinance and would have to be voted on by the people.
Right. Okay.
Well, if we wanted to set aside, let's say 30% of the new hotel motel tax revenue for a new convention center or something like that, that would actually have to be.
No, you can do that right now.
You can do that.
This
Okay.
this council right now, under the existing ordinance, could make a determination that for this fiscal year, we're gonna designate 30% to a convention center.
Okay.
So that's already all covered in the existing.
Correct.
Because it falls under economic development.
Right.
Any other questions, discussion? Have a motion?
I make a motion that we approve ordinance number 820, item 7. Second.
Have a motion and a second.
Crone,
Nay.
Swager,
Aye.
Alvedras,
Aye.
Livengood,
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We have 4 ayes and 1 nay.
Agenda item number 8 is discussion and possible action on approval of the 2017 budget amendment number 2 for the general fund, budget amendment number 2.
Yes, this is a budget amendment to acknowledge the receipt of various grant monies. So this is to add, reallocate those expenses that have already been approved and accepted by the council. You can see those include the health preparedness grant, monies received from Homeland Security, thermal imaging grant for the fire department, and the reimbursement for the flood that occurred at the library. And those dollars were not in the original budget, so now you've received those monies and we're doing a budget amendment to allocate them.
Was that reimbursement through OMAG?
Yes.
I make a motion that we approve budget amendment number 2 for the general fund.
Second.
Have a motion and a second.
Crone, Livengood,
Aye.
Swager,
Aye.
Alvedras,
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We have 5 ayes.
Agenda item number 9 is discussion and possible action on a request for road repair assistance from the Guymon Elks Lodge number 1885.
Yes, I received this letter, the city received this letter from the Elks Lodge. We went out and looked at the private drive, and the reason we're asking the council to approve this is it would make improvements to a private drive, but we've historically had an arrangement with the Elks Lodge to share resources. They've provided water to the golf course, and my understanding is that historically we've made those improvements before. But I didn't feel that I was authorized to make that expenditure since it's on a private drive, so that's the reason we're bringing it to the council.
It's primarily used by the golf course anyway. There's not
Well,
much
yeah,
else
it's the
to it.
second entrance into the golf course, and the $1,200 would be for the material, and then our public works crew would make the repairs.
Any discussion? Motion?
I'd like to make a motion that we approve the request for road repair assistance for the Guymon Elks Lodge number 1885.
Second.
Have a motion and a second.
Crone,
Aye.
Swager.
Aye.
Living Good.
Aye.
Alvedras.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We have 5 ayes.
Agenda item number 10 is discussion and possible action on approval of the sponsorship funding for the Border Buck-Off Rodeo event in the amount of $2,000. We have a representative from KGY here. Would you like to?
Yes. I want to thank you for putting this on the agenda this week. Our listeners appreciate it, and your constituents do as well. If I could, may I read to you the letter that I gave you guys the last agenda meeting?
Well, certainly.
And I know you have in your packets what our proposal is, showing you what all you'll receive for the $2,000. Honorable Councilman, Steckline Communications, the parent company of KGYN Radio in Guymon, is hosting the Border Buck-Off bull riding competition in Guymon at Henry Hitch Arena on Friday, August the 11th, 2017. This bull riding competition is a two-part event that will continue in Garden City on Saturday, August the 12th, 2017. Since the PBR is no longer coming to Guymon, Steckline Communications has decided to take up the slack and sponsor a bull riding competition for fans from the surrounding states to enjoy in Guymon. We expect up to 30 bull riders to participate in the Guymon competition. If the winner of the Guymon competition competes and wins in Garden City the following day, he or she will earn a nice bonus for his or her efforts. This will be a ticketed event that we expect will bring about 2,000 fans to Guymon that weekend. Those fans will contribute sales tax dollars to the local economy through hotel stays, merchandise and fuel purchases, and dining at Guymon restaurants. Steckline Communications plans to make this an annual event in Guymon. Steckline Communications requests a $2,000 sponsorship from the City of Guymon to help market the event and offset the cost of producing this high-value entertainment and a cultural event in Guymon. Thank you for your consideration.
Anybody have any questions, discussion?
Who's this sanctioned by the Border Buck-Off?
It is not a sanctioned event. It's in between the two biggest bull riding events in the area. The weekend before is XIT in Texas, and the weekend after that is the big event in Dodge City. So there are a lot of bull riders that are in the area that would like to come in and win some extra money, and that's what they're gonna do here. And it is a 2-day event, Guymon on August the 11th, and then Garden City on August the 12th.
Has Steckline Communications approached Garden City?
Yes, Garden City. I can't speak for what they've done up there, but I believe they've gone to the city council as well for a corporate sponsorship. This type of sponsorship helps the city from the standpoint that you will be marketed to 6 different states through radio, TV, and print to promote the event, and also the city of Guymon. Along with this, you're going to get 250 30-second radio commercials on the stations of your choice, whether it's Dodge City, Garden City, KGYN. You'll also be on our Mid-America Ag Network, which covers 6 states. It's a good way to promote the city of Guymon for a relatively reasonable rate.
Well, my question would be is, most of our requests for things like this are channeled through our Convention and Tourism Board and then brought to us. Why are you coming straight to us?
I went to the Convention and Tourism Board, showed them the proposal, withdrew the proposal. I went and talked to a couple of the members afterwards. This is a one-day event, and typically speaking, $2,000 is their limit for a one-day event. We asked for $6,000, which is a full corporate sponsorship. This sponsorship will be for Guymon alone, and so this amount is for what they allocate for a one-day event, which is $2,000. And the other thing, too, is the rules with the convention board is you have to present within 60 days of the actual event. They had a meeting in May. They had a special meeting as well. Their next meeting was going to be in July, which is less than 60 days before the event, so that's why we're coming to you as well.
Have you done this in the past, Garden City?
Steckline Communications has. They've run the bull riding event at the Kansas State Fair before. We've had the bull riding event in Garden City and Dodge City in the past. This will be the first time in Guymon, and we do intend to make this an annual event tagged with our Garden City radio stations as well.
Has it been successful in Garden City?
As far as I know.
Who'd be running their concessions?
Steckline Communications. And this would be an event that I would say would encourage, foster, and promote economic and cultural events in Guymon, And again, a great way for the city of Guymon to actually advertise to a six-state area. Anything you wanted to advertise.
Was the arena donated or?
No, we're paying for the arena, we're paying for all the costs. And I might add, you might want to raise the rates on the arena. When I found out how much they were, I kind of chuckled.
So, so basically this is a for-profit event.
It is a for-profit event, yes. And it's also a community event as well to help foster people coming to the city of Guymon.
Who would approve the content of the ads, the
Um,
announcements?
Of course, you'd have to follow FCC rules and regulations. Give us the information, we can produce the commercials for you. Like if you have an event that's coming up and you want to have it put on our network, which goes to 6 states, you could do that. It would be, the language, as long as it's worthy of the FCC, you can put pretty much anything in the ad that you would like.
My concern is that this is for profit, and, you know, wonder if I wanted, I'm just gonna use this as an example, but wonder if I wanted to have a fundraiser and donate to, the football team. And, but I'm gonna sell hamburgers for $2.99 at my restaurant, but I want you guys to help advertise it for me and give me $2,000. And that's the problem I have with it, is the fact that it's a for-profit, it's not a nonprofit organization. I think the event would be good for Guymon. I honestly do. I think maybe, school starting that weekend or that following week. It would be nice to have some things going, happening in Guymon that would bring people in.
I personally like the event. I think it's good for Guymon, and we should allow people and give people seed money to try to establish something in our city. That's my thoughts.
Any other discussion? Any other questions? Do I have a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the sponsorship funding for the Border Buck-Off, item 10, in the amount of $2,000.
Second.
Have a motion and a second.
Crone,
No.
Swager,
Nay?
Alvedras,
Aye.
Living Good,
Aye.
Peterson.
Nay.
We have 3 nays, 2 ayes.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 11 is consider approval of the purchase of a used Toro grounds mower for the Sunset Hills Golf Course.
We had a mower that burned up, and we're trying to find a replacement for that. You have a lot of information in your packet. Mike's here if you've got any questions for Mike. He had 4 quotes, and we're recommending that the council consider purchasing the equipment or the mower that has the lowest price and the fewest hours. And Mike, delivery time on that would be what?
Out of Euless, Texas?
Yes.
About 2 weeks?
Yes.
And what do you mean? You said they were working on it.
They wait until someone is gonna purchase it, and then they go through and rehaul all the fittings, the bearings, the O-rings and stuff.
Do they give you any kind of guarantee, the warranty or anything, like a 30-day warranty or anything?
I'm not exactly sure on that. I'd have to ask.
And this is the 68-inch fairway
It's for the run.
for the run.
And you could use that around the greens as well?
Yes. The decks actually on this mower will also fit on our big rough mower also, if we have a problem with that one.
so they're interchangeable.
Yes.
Okay.
I did some research and some comparisons, and this is, we're paying a good price for this year and model, 3500D, right?
Mhm.
I'm just not happy with not getting some local bids. I understand the ordinance being under 50,000, and I'd like to get some local bids next time, and possibly demos. Try to demo something. But we do need this mower out of the course.
I asked Mike that question, and he couldn't find any used equipment locally.
Not that type of mower.
Any other questions, discussion?
I make a motion that we approve the purchase of the Toro Browns mower for Sunset Hills,
I'll
item
second.
11.
I'll second.
Have a motion and a second.
Crone,
Aye.
Livengood,
Aye.
Alvedras,
Aye.
Swager,
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We have 5 ayes.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Discussion and possible action on approval of invoice number 350251 in the amount of $19,468 to Guymon Shopping Center Development LLC, Mariah Plaza, for the 2016 sales tax rebate.
Yeah, this is, I think, the next to the last payment on our agreement, sales tax rebate. Reviewed the agreement with city attorney since I didn't have prior experience with this agreement. Sent them a letter. They contested the amount that we calculated, and we resolved that issue. And so the 19,000 is the correct rebate for this year. They have one remaining year. I think last year the rebate was close to $50,000. So you can see that it's timing is expiring for the retailers in that development.
Did the original invoice have a breakdown on each business in there?
No, I have to calculate that. The developer does not know how each of the retailers performed. I have to go into the Oklahoma Tax Commission and sign a confidentiality statement that I will not reveal that information to anyone, and
It's a lot of research.
pull that information out and calculate the number. So,
A lot of time.
yeah, I think it's a good way to incentivize development. You just have to be very careful about your terms, number of years, and the type of incentive you provide.
Any other questions, discussion, motion?
We're legally binded by this, right?
Yes.
Just checking. I make a motion that we approve invoice number 350251, the amount of $19,468 to Guymon Shopping Center Development LLC, item 12.
I'll second it.
Have a motion and a second.
Crone,
Aye.
Livengood,
Aye.
Alvedras,
Aye.
Swager,
Nay.
Peterson.
Aye.
We have 1 nay and 4 ayes.
Agenda item number 13 is reports and comments from city manager and council members.
I handed out your monthly activity report for fire and police. The good news for me is that we have another new police officer that started a couple weeks ago, and he's still working for us, so that's a positive sign. I hope we get to meet him one of these council meetings, Chief, very soon. Yeah. When he gets a break. Yeah. When you give him a break. Yeah. And then, so you have those reports. My second item that I handed out to you is the summaries, financial summaries for the general fund and GUA, along with a sales tax report. And I hope this trend continues. We had a very good month on sales tax, first up month in almost a year. So I'm hoping that the tide is turned and we're going to be on positive ground for the balance of the year. You can look through that information and ask questions later if you have anything you want to visit with me about. The good news for me is that we're 6 months through the year, so that's a 50% mark. And what I like to see is that revenues are above 50% and expenditures are below 50%. And that's what we have right now. We have revenues that are about 2% above that mark and expenditures about 3% below that mark. So I think we're right on target with our budget, and hopefully we'll be able to maintain that gap between revenues and expenditures for the balance of the year. The one unknown, and we're hoping to see the audit report sometime this month, but the important part for me on the audit report is to see where we actually ended last year versus where we projected that end number was going to be. And so we can true up all of our accounts and start looking at 2018 budget. So I think that was a good financial report.
Thank you. Any other reports, comments?
I attended the 4th of July show. I think the firemen and the volunteers that put it on did a really great job. KKBS, thank you for the spots. I attended a golf event that City of Guymon helped out, Belly Open. It's a fundraiser for Oklahoma Panhandle State University, and that had a great outing. They had a great outing, put on a good event. I think that event is coming along. Just want to remind everybody, because of the absence of rain, please use fire safety whenever needed, or all the time. Fire chief was wanting me to remind everybody about that, and let's try to keep your lawns mowed down. It's going to save you a letter from the city. So, thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Crone?
Well, I'd just like to thank whoever was responsible for the 4th of July deal at the park for the kids. I know I saw Mr. Peterson out there.
Charity.
And
Parks.
Parks.
That
So
was
I was out there, and I understand Mr. Peterson had a really nice bike.
You didn't get to see it?
Didn't get to see it. I guess I didn't know.
Where's the pictures at?
But
There's a picture floating
it
around.
was a great deal and a really good turnout for the first year. I was real pleased.
But I made a mistake. I bought a single speed. Going up that one hill was kind of tough. No, it was, I was going to comment that the group that put that on, it's a good start for to grow something in Thompson Lake and Thompson Park and Sunset Lake area, because, that's probably one of the least utilized, most underutilized parts of Guymon on some things. But they did it. It was a great day. The kids had a good time. I hope it grows tremendously. And they had some things. I had a good time. The kids had a good time. And,
Who won the turtle race?
I'm not sure.
I know Lily Hitch won the little kids. I'm not sure if there were multiple races or not, but.
It was a pretty tough year for finding turtles. If they'd had a rattlesnake trace, there'd have been no problem. Anyway. But it was a good day and it was well done. Kudos to everybody that helped. It just shows we got a lot of young volunteers and people that are interested in guns. I neglected last meeting, but a lot of people may have seen and may have been by. But out at the airport, there's some different things going on. One Flower Club is doing some projects, but a local Boy Scout who's working on his Eagle badge, Raymond Kevin Davis, and his troop took a day and went out and got the flagpole straightened up and erected, got it redone. The area around the flagpole, they dug out, he brought in wood chips, they put them down and had a work day. Really looks nice, and this is was part of his Eagle Scout project. So I want to thank him for being the motivator, and then all of the young men and the scout leaders and the parents that assisted that were his work crew for the day. And it really, we don't realize how many, I don't think we realize how many aircraft are coming into Guymon every day now, but it's really, really jumped up. And so that's some of these people, that's the first impression they get of Guymon, so that's right. That's all I've got. Any new business? Any other reports? Anything new business? We'll adjourn as the Guymon City Council. If I get this thing to work, we're going to re-adjourn as the Guymon Utilities Authority. Now, I'm afraid to touch this thing. Okay, that's right, we're going on. If I missed something, I got cheat sheets. No, I got this. We'll reconvene as the Guymon Utilities Authority. We've already done agenda item number 2. Are there any public comments and announcements? Any public comments and announcements? Agenda item number 5 is discussion and possible action on approval of the 2017 budget amendment number 1 for the GUA fund.
We're reconciling a previous approved purchase of a used sanitation truck. I think that was about 3 months ago. Kind of lose track of time, but I think it was about 3 months ago that we purchased a used sanitation truck to transfer from our transfer station. And this is basically moving the money from your fund balance into the expenditure account.
Any questions? Do I have a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the 2017 budget amendment number 1 for the Guymon Utility Authority Fund.
I'll second it.
Have a motion and a second.
Alvedras.
Aye.
Living Good.
Aye.
Swager.
Aye.
Cran.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We have 5 ayes.
Agenda item number 5 is discussion and possible action on approval of invoices to Cardinal Engineering for the following projects: CIB 1926 and CIB 1928 for the lift station renovation project totaling $89,500. CIB 1927 and CIB 1929 for the water well number 23 replacement project totaling $34,500. CIB 1865 for the water well number 35 project in the amount of $1,771.25. And CIB 1866 for the Seaboard Tower rehab project in the amount of $5,000. Any discussion, questions, motion?
Have we got any bids?
We will have the bid opening for the lift stations and the water well 23 are set for August 2nd. We'll have one bid opening in the morning and the other bid opening in the afternoon.
I'll make a motion that we approve the invoices for Cardinal Engineering for the projects listed. The lift station for $89,500, water well number 23 for $34,500, water well number 35 project for amount of $1,771.25, and the Seaboard Tower rehab project for the amount of $5,000.
Second.
Have a motion and a second.
Crone.
Aye.
Alvedras.
Aye.
Swager.
Aye.
Living Good.
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We have 5 ayes.
Is there any new business? Not will stand adjourned as the Guymon Utilities Authority. We'll reconvene as the Guymon Industrial Authority. Agenda item number 2 is approve the minutes of the special meeting of December 20th, 2016.
How is our investment policy doing? Is that set up through Edward Jones? Is that correct? Our investment policy?
Our investment policy, well, we do have some funds out of Edward Jones, but they're in a CD and they're on the match challenge from the Nash Foundation.
Okay. I make a motion that we approve the minutes of the December 20th, 2016 meeting.
Second.
Have a motion and a second.
Crone,
Aye.
Livengood,
Aye.
Swager,
Aye.
Alvedras,
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We have 5 ayes.
Are there any public comments and announcements? Agenda item number 4 is discussion and possible action on approval for the execution of amendment to Series 1993 supplemental bond indenture originally dated as of December 1, 1993. I don't know who wants to talk about that, but that's on the TIF bond, is that right, Mr. Petty?
Yeah, that, the trustee bank requested the amendment because the TIF bonds were originally set to mature by their terms in 2017. But because there was a lawsuit filed initially and went on for a period of 2 years before it was concluded, the state statute told the beginning of the TIF period so that it's extended to the end of 2019, which, so there'll be basically 2 more years of additional ad valorem tax funds that will go toward retirement of those bonds. And that's the purpose of this, is to show that amendment to extend that termination date to 2019.
Any questions? Motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve amendment to Series 1993 supplemental bond indenture originally dated December 1st, 1993.
I'll second it.
Have a motion and a second.
Alvedras,
Aye.
Livengood,
Aye.
Swager,
Aye.
Crone,
Aye.
Peterson.
Aye.
We have 5 ayes.
Is there any new business? If not, we'll stand adjourned. Thank everybody for coming.